Welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will explain another example on convolution theorem, which is used to evaluate L inverse. Okay. Whenever convolution theorem is mentioned in the statement, don't use partial fractions. Please remember that formula. Okay. So for applying convolution theorem, we should have to take two functions in X. One is f of s and another one is g of s. We can choose that two functions from the given problem only. Okay. See. Let us take f of s as, since in the numerator we have 16, I will take 16 here. Otherwise you can take 4 and 4 as you wish, no problem. 16 by what is the first factor? S minus 2. And what is g of s? 1 by s plus 2 whole square. Otherwise you can take f of s as 1 by s plus 2 whole square and g of s 16 by s minus 2 as you wish. And selecting f of s and g of s is nothing but, if you take the product of these both functions, surely we have to get given function. Okay, we have to choose f of s and g of s so that the product of f of s and g of s is the given function. Don't forget it. Okay. So we have to find out L inverse of these both functions. What is L inverse of f of s? L inverse of 16 by s minus 2. You know that 16 is the constant term and remaining term is in the form of L inverse of 1 by s minus 2. So 16 into e power 2t, because it is in the form of 1 by s minus a. That's why. So you can say this is f of t. And L inverse of g of s. What is L inverse of g of s? L inverse of 1 by s plus 2 whole square. So for this type of problems, we have to apply first shifting theorem on inverse Laplace. From the first shifting theorem on inverse Laplace, we have a formula L inverse of 1 by s plus a whole square. Okay, it is nothing but e power at into t only, since it has only whole square. Okay, if it is cube, you will get t square by 2 factorial. However, it is nothing but a is nothing but 2, so you will get e power minus 2t. Just I am replacing a is equal to 2 in this formula into t. So this is the formula for L inverse of g of s. Now we have to write the statement of the convolution theorem. By convolution theorem, what happened? L inverse of f of s into g of s is equal to integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. Okay. Somebody can write also integral 0 to t f of t minus u into g of u. Both are same. Okay, you can follow any one of that formula. Now replace all values in this original formula of convolution theorem. F of s into g of s. 16 into 1, 16 whole by s minus 2 into s plus 2 whole square. Surely we will get the given problem. We have to simplify this integration now. See, integral 0 to t. What is f of u? F of u, already we have f of t. In this function of t, we have to replace t is equal to u here. So you will get 16 into e power 2u. And what about g of t minus u? So in g of t, whenever we have t in this function, we have to replace it by t minus u. It's enough. E power minus 2 into t minus u into t minus u du. Okay. So we have to evaluate this integral value. After completion of this integration, you will get the result of inverse Laplace of this given function. That is the concept only. So 16 is the constant term right outside of the integration. So integral 0 to t. Since we are observing that t minus u is there, I will write t minus u here, and bases are equal. That's why I will add the powers. So e power 2u minus 2t minus of minus plus 2u into d. So 16 into integral 0 to t minus u into e power 4u. 2u plus 2u. It would be 4u into, I will write e power minus 2t here. Again I am separating the terms. Since here we have to take the integration with respect to u, e power minus 2t is the constant term right outside from the integration. So you will get 16 into e power minus 2t, integral 0 to t. Remaining terms are t minus u into e power 4u du. Now I will apply integration by parts formula. This is the algebraic term and this is the exponential term according to the highlight rule. Algebraic term is the first function. This is the first function and this is the second function. So I will write as 16 into e power minus 2t, opening a bracket. First term is the similar term t minus u and the integration of the second term e power 4u by 4. Coefficient of u is the constant term. That's why you should write the coefficient of u in the denominator. Minus derivative of this first term. What is the derivative of t minus u with respect to u? T is the constant whose derivative with respect to u is 0 and derivative of u is 1, minus sign is there. So minus of minus plus 1 whole into integration of this entire term e power minus 4u by 4. Already 4 is there. So you will get 16 and the derivative of 1 is 0. Okay. Integration is completed. Whenever you are getting the derivative of the first term is 0, integration by parts formula is completed. After completion of the integration, we should apply limits. Since we are taking the derivative with respect to u, we have to replace limits by u place only. So 16 into e power minus 2t. What is the upper limit? T. Whenever we have u, replace it by t. T minus t, 0 plus e power u is here. Replace it by t. E power 4t by 16. Apply lower limit. Minus t minus 0, t only. E power 0. E power 0 is 1. So you will get t by 4. By applying lower limit, you will get positive into negative, negative. E power 0 is 1. 1 by 16. Okay. So 16 is the LCM. So this 16 and LCM 16 gets cancelled. E power minus 2t into e power 4t. Here you will get negative 4t times minus 1. So take this e power minus 2t to inside. You will get minus 2t plus 4t. E power 2t minus 4t into e power minus 2t minus e power minus 2t. 1 into e power minus 2t. This is the result of the inverse Laplace transformation of 16 by s minus 20 s plus 2 whole square. Suppose convolution theorem is not mentioned in the statement. Just he is asking that find LNOs of this one. Then you can use the partial fractions. Okay? Because inverse Laplace convolution theorem is a very difficult topic. If you have the good knowledge on the integrations, then only you are able to apply this theorem. Okay? What are the partial fractions for this type of problems? A by s minus 2 plus b by s plus 2 plus c by s plus 2 whole square. Okay, once again I am telling you, if convolution theorem is mentioned in the statement, don't use partial fractions. Okay, at least you have to write the solution up to here. If you have the knowledge on integrations, you can complete the problem, otherwise leave it. You may lose some marks. Okay, thank you very much. In the next video I will give some more examples on convolution theorem. Bye.